morning everybody. In this video we will see about magnetic materials. So how materials are classified depending upon its magnetic properties. Okay. The three broad category is dia, para and ferro. There are some other types which is called as antiferromagnetic and ferrimagnetic materials. We will see one by one. First we will classify a material which is coming under dia, para and ferro. So now let us take a material, okay, in a small dish. This is a material. Now let us introduce a external magnetic field. If the material moves opposite to the applied field, then we can say this is a diamagnetic material. Now if we take a material and apply the field, if the material moves in towards the direction of the field, then it is called as paramagnet. Ferromagnetic material also moves in the same direction of the applied field. So this is a ferromagnetic material. Next is why this material is moving opposite to the field direction. In some materials there may be no free electrons. Okay, no outermost orbitals are filled. So there is no excess electrons which will take part in this magnetization process. So magnetization, as we have seen, the orbital magnetic moment and the spin magnetic moment is responsible for the magnetization. So the resultant magnetic moment will have a direction. Orbital magnetic moment is negligible when compared to the spin magnetic moment, and spin we can say it is plus half and minus half. So it will have, if it is a single electron, if it is a coupled one, okay, then it will be cancelled each other, and if there is a single electron present in an atom, then that spin orbital magnetic moment will take part in the magnetization process, because that will respond to the applied magnetic field. So in this diamagnetic material, okay, if an atom has a covalent bond and there is no outermost orbitals, no single valence electron, then it will be a diamagnetic material. So if we apply a magnetic field in one direction, the material will go in the opposite direction. If at all there is a magnetic moment present inside the material, the resultant, there may be some magnetization that will move in the opposite direction of the magnetic field. So if there is a material, so this is inside the material, the magnetization is opposite to the applied field. So this will happen in the diamagnetic material. And if there is a material inside the magnetic materials, for a paramagnetic material, there may be the valence electrons, there may be a spin magnetic moment for that atom. So if I draw an arrow mark, this indicates the spin magnetic moment of that particular atom. So these spin magnetic moments are randomly oriented for paramagnetic material, and for this material, if we apply a magnetic field, some moment which is almost equal to the magnetic field will come and align along the field direction, and if it is in the opposite, so it will be turning to some extent. So as a whole, there may be small magnetization present in the inside the magnetic field. So as a whole, there may be small magnetization present. Okay. So here, since the dipoles are moving in the opposite direction, we can say the susceptibility is negative, because H is applied in one direction and M, the magnetization happening inside the material, that is the magnetic moments turning in the opposite direction. So chi is negative, because chi is equal to M by H. Okay, so chi is negative for diamagnetic material. Here it is moving in along the same direction, so susceptibility is positive, but it is very small. Okay, because all the spin magnetic moments are randomly oriented, so putting together the resultant will be very, very less for paramagnetic material. But for ferromagnetic material, okay, we will see this ferromagnetic material in detail, because this is our portion. the spin magnetic moments are aligned in the same direction, but for some space. Okay, this space is called as domains inside the magnetic field, but the neighboring domain will have some other alignment. Okay, this is domain according to the domain theory. Okay, so now for this material, when magnetic field is applied, the dipoles, which is almost the same, will turn along the same direction. So as a result, the magnetization will be in along the same direction of the applied external field. So the susceptibility is M by H is positive, and it is a very large value. Okay, so this chi will tell you, it is a number which tells how easily a material can be magnetized, or else in other words, how easily the magnetic lines of forces can pass inside the material. So if a material is having a negative susceptibility, then we cannot magnetize that material. So this comes under diamagnetic, and whereas para and ferromagnetic material, we can magnetize the material. This is, we have to apply more magnetic field, but here without applying the magnetic field, even before applying, it has a magnetic moment. Okay, so this is a very good magnetic material. This is a non-magnetic material. So this is the reason for the material to be magnetic. Next is permeability. Permeability for diamagnetic is 0, and here this is very small value, and this is a very high value. This is 0 because you cannot magnetize this material. This is a small value, and here this is a large value. Okay. Now, okay, the next point is, if what will happen to this material when temperature is applied, temperature effect. Okay, when let us have a material. Okay, this is not a diamagnetic material. Initially the flux lines passes through the material, so it is a ferromagnetic material. Okay, now if the temperature is reduced, what happens? Slowly the flux lines expels out. Okay, it expels out of the material, slowly comes out of the material. So this effect of expulsion of the lines of forces when the temperature is less than the critical temperature. This critical temperature is the superconducting critical temperature. Okay, so if the material is a superconductor, then all the flux lines will expel out. So the magnetic induction inside the magnetic field, that is B is equal to phi by A. The number of lines of forces per unit area inside the material becomes 0. So this is transferring to ferro to diamagnetic material, and this effect of expelling out of the lines of forces is called as Meissner effect. Meissner effect in superconductivity. So a superconducting material is a pure diamagnetic material where you cannot pass flux lines inside it. Okay, the B drops to 0, chi is negative. Okay, this is Meissner effect. And this is the temperature. When temperature drops, a ferromagnetic material becomes diamagnetic, but in the superconducting transition temperature. Next is paramagnetic. What will happen to the paramagnetic material when you increase the temperature? So there is a random alignment, okay, randomly oriented. The spin magnetic moments are randomly oriented, but when you increase the temperature, this orientation will further lead to misalignment. So the magnetization drops, so the susceptibility becomes very less value. So the magnetizing effect will reduce. Okay. Now, when the temperature is increased in the ferromagnetic material, here also the alignment becomes random. There is some alignment inside the domains, but this alignment becomes random, and so the magnetization drops and susceptibility becomes less. And the temperature where the ferromagnetic material changes its alignment and it is changing to a paramagnetic material is called as the Curie ferromagnetic Curie temperature. And the relationship between the susceptibility and the temperature is chi is equal to C by T, where C is called as the Curie constant, and this is obviously it is inversely proportional. And chi here for ferromagnetic material is the same Curie temperature by T minus theta F, where theta F is the temperature where the ferromagnetic material changes to a paramagnetic material. So we have to maintain the ferromagnetic material's temperature below the Curie temperature. Okay. Next is domains. So since there is no alignment, there are no domains in the diamagnetic material, no domains. And here also there are no domains. There is no spin magnetic moment. The spin magnetic moment is 0 totally. There is a small value, but there is no regular alignment. Everything is random orientation, so there is no domains. Here in a ferromagnetic material, okay, because of some reason, I'll tell you what is the reason. So because of the interaction, they are split it into domains, where each domain will have different orientations, but the spin magnetic moment of the atoms inside this domain will be of same direction. So now when you apply the magnetic field, this domain will start to change its orientation. So this is called as the domain theory. So ferromagnetic material can be seen as domains. And examples for dia is, you can remember like this: silver, gold, diamond. There are many examples, but you can remember, this is easy to remember: silver, gold and diamond, which is used for jewelry. Paramagnetic is magnesium and chromium, and ferromagnetic material is ferrous, nickel and cobalt, and rare earth elements. Okay.